For the witness in me and in the larger psyche, what to make of this voice? And there's a couple of different continuums, I think, that are relevant. The first is the endless spiral, right? And that's just understanding that the breath, that life, that the rhythm is moving endlessly forward, repeating, but at a bigger level, repeating, but with greater efficiency, with greater complexity. And so on that continuum, the question is this voice before or behind your own on a given dimension? If we take the maturation dimension, blind trust and servitude and fear of violating the deity, the perfect archetype, which Lazaris is embodying in many ways, to the rejection, the criticism of the adolescent, right? You move from sympathy, blind trust and naivete, to rebellion, to critique, to looking at the anomalous data of the adolescent. And then you have to move forward, meaning the greatest gift you can give in honor of a teacher, of anyone in your life, is that you take the best of what they are, you reject the worst of what they are, and then you iterate forward. And it is important to understand that there is an endless continuum of complexity, of intelligence, of grace, of well-being, of excellence. And no matter where the point is, it can be brought forward. Now, Lazaris has commented on this, on the trap of heaven. If you believe that harps and little angels and all that are perfect, when you get there, you're going to stay there too long. Heaven becomes a trap because you believe there's nowhere else to go. There's always somewhere else to go. And so without moving into adolescence, into criticism of one's deity, one cannot take it further. So then the question, are you a child? Are you an adolescent, a different adolescent? Or are you an adult? Meaning, have you taken something further already? Right? The adult is ahead of the adolescent. The adolescent is ahead of the child. A lot of what this channel has been for me is, the YouTube channel, is moving from child relationship with Lazaris to adolescent relationship with Lazaris. And then out of that is emerging a certain amount of adulthood, a certain amount of synthesis and editing and taking things further. Right? And synthesis, editing, and failure, taking things backwards, and then you come back to what's good in Lazaris. Another continuum is the blind trust or the instinctive rapport with something, going into critical thinking. We all have instincts, a reptile has instincts, but a human being, the rational brain, can develop critical thinking. If you are in instinct and have not traversed the territory of critical thinking, you are behind. So a lot of this voice is in the territory of critical thinking. Now, critical thinking is also a limitation. to that which transcends at the other side of critical instinct. So you have base instinct from the past. You edit, refine, critique, and infuse consciousness with critical thinking. Language infuses consciousness. But it keeps you in a bandwidth. Then there is a transcendence on the upper side of language. So language can be looked as a midband. You have instinct, you purify it with language. Then you transcend the language with a new, a more conscious intuition, a more informed intuition that is also beyond words. Have you gone through the words in what you sympathize with, what you antipathize with, what you synthesize? If you have not, you're not ready to go beyond language. Right? So this is a lot of, Lazaris does an endless amount of monologues, but very little listening, very little dialogues. Right? So this is about entering into the domain of language for me, while a very small part of me knows that it's all a joke, understands everything Lazaris says is a joke, everything I say is a joke. It's just a big joke, right? That's on the other side, right? But it's not a joke when you're in it, right? So you have to go through the seriousness, the repercussions of mathematical and verbal language. Thank you.